Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hanson with Keto Confab, and I'm here today with my good friend Renee, and we're going to talk about her keto journey so far because she's not done, neither am I. And so uh, this is my friend Renee. We've been friends for about 28 years when our youngest were in diapers. And we met through our childbirth education and midwifery studies, and we've stayed in touch over these years, even though she lives in Oklahoma, I live in North Dakota, and she's a good friend. And last year, I invited her to join me on my crazy keto trip, and she chose to join me. And so I wanted to invite her today to tell you about her trip, how things are going, and how keto went for her. So Renee, why don't you tell the nice people a little bit about yourself and what you do and everything.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me. I have to say hello to everyone. I really appreciate being invited and interviewed. I was telling Elizabeth a little bit earlier, it's interesting to have someone ask you to tell their story or tell your story. So this has been an interesting journey. Um, Elizabeth said that, like we said, we met in 94 and we'd worked throughout the same similar fields. So back in November, she is like super excited and she's telling me about this wonderful book. And it's by this lady named Dr. Boz. And I'm like, Dr. Who? And she says, Dr. Boz. And I'm like, well, I've never even heard of this person. She goes, oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Annette Bosworth. And I'm, okay. And this keto diet. And she was having all this success. And if you know Elizabeth at all, and you know me at all, when something really cool happens, we are bouncing off the walls, excited, and feel like we have to tell the world. So I'm like going, okay, I'm excited to hear. Tell me more. So she's telling me about this, and next thing I know, I get this surprise package in the mail, and she has actually sent me Dr. Boz's first book. I think it's called Any Way You Can. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes I get the title wrong. And then she also included the keto urine strip so I could check my keto levels. And then lots and lots of links to videos so that I could kind of get an idea and a feel for what this was about, not just a book. And honestly, I was kind of slow on getting on board because I tend to teach diet as it comes from a Chinese medical perspective. So maybe I need to reverse here just a little bit. I'm the owner and operator of a holistic healthcare clinic in Guthrie, Oklahoma, called Barefoot Wisewoman Health Center. I am a certified acupuncturist, a licensed massage therapist, a holistic nutrition counselor, and a barefoot doctor. I also am an artist called the Dottie Old Lady. I do artwork, and then I'm also an award-winning Christian singer and songwriter.
Hey
So,
Renee, let me share your Facebook page with the peoples.
oh, thank you. Yes.
So they could see it. Let me get to the screen share and share that. So tell us your business name again.
It's called Barefoot Wisewoman Health Center.
Okay, I'll find it. It's here somewhere.
Yeah, it's actually, I run it from my home because I believe in community-based medicine. And so many people today really can't hardly afford doctor's visits and everything else. And so I wanted to make sure, oh, there's the book. There's the book she sent me.
Yep, this is Keto Confab.
Keto Confab, by the way. You need to go to her Confab thing. It's like ultra cool.
Oh, no. It's taking me all the wrong places, Renee. Malfunction.
The great thing about electronics is when they don't function right.
Right. So fun. So very fun. I love it.
I had my scheduling calendar one time literally rebook an entire month's worth of appointments and talk about panic.
Oh my goodness. There it is. Look, I have it.
That's my before and after shots.
No, here's your wise woman. Is it here? Do you see it?
It's yeah, I see it, but it's up above it.
Oh no.
So I guess I can't touch my computer to get to it.
Okay.
It's in the slideshow mode.
I'm sorry. Oh, is that it? Okay. Sorry.
Okay, it's before and after.
Yep, we'll get there. All right.
You're already one step ahead of me on Zoom. I'm lucky I can figure out how to just talk to you.
Now is it there?
There we go. Yes.
Look at that. I finally did it.
Yay.
So on this page, Renee shares about her business and even free clinics that are coming up and everything. So go there, give her page a like and a follow, and that would be great.
Thank you. You can also go from that Facebook page to my web page. So I do an actual web page as well.
That's great.
So kind of going back to my story that I've introduced myself and why I teach or was teaching diet from a different aspect. So I kind of just eased into it, and I started off, as Dr. Boz suggested, by just eating what I had in my home first. I didn't want to just throw it out. It was good foods. As far as actually I was eating healthy, but definitely not the keto healthy way. And I found out that a lot of what I was eating was actually a lot of carb, or it was higher in carbs than I had ever imagined they were. And so as I was eating that, I was replacing it with the keto friendly items. And initially, I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay attention to drinking water. I went way overboard on my protein because I love meat. Don't follow my example in that session, because if you eat too much protein, you don't drink enough of water, the backside, the pipes go, not today, sister. And so you get all stopped up. Not a happy moment, not fun. And so I kind of, once I got beyond that, I really did buckle down and started following it correctly. And when I did that, man, the weight started dropping off like crazy. I mean, I think the first month I dropped like 20 pounds. I was like, oh my gosh. And one other thing that I did, and I don't remember if I told Elizabeth about this, but I went to my doctor and I had her do a full blood panel to see what all of my numbers were before I started being in the health field. I wanted to be able to track that information.
I think that was a great idea, Renee. I think everybody should get a blood panel done before they start, so they know where they're starting from.
Oh, absolutely. And it was eye-opening to me. I was pre-diabetic. My blood pressure, even though I was very morbidly obese, in fact, I started off my journey at 345 pounds, 350. And so my blood pressure really should have been hugely off the charts. And it wasn't, but it was beginning to get where it was starting to finally climb. And so there was concern I was going to have to go on blood pressure medication and things. And so, I told the doctor what I was getting ready to do, and she was excited. She had heard about keto, so she was all on board with it. The next step that I did, I felt was really important, was I went so far as to purchase a glucometer, but a really special one called Keto Mojo. And this one not only tracked my blood glucose levels, but it tracks my ketones, which I felt was really important because I find that the blood ketone one is even more accurate than my urine strips were. For me personally, it was easier to read.
Yeah.
So like I said, January was kind of my starting point, but February was when I really buckled down. And from that point forward, I have dropped a total of 80 pounds. So it was pretty dramatic. And I think we kind of popped over to Becky or Elizabeth, but I sent you some pictures of me, the before and after. The before picture is from November when I was at a singing event called the Victorian Walk here in Guthrie. And then the other one was a fairly recent one. That was actually about a month ago. And I sent you one other one that was like from yesterday. That was even more recent. And so you can even see it just even a little bit better because of the styling of the pants. But I'm telling you, I've just been blown away. I've been wearing clothes that I didn't think I was ever going to get back into. So I've been so excited.
One of the first things that really got me excited for Renee was when we did FaceTime once, and how thin her face had gotten. And it was just amazing. And
Yeah.
the two pictures we have here aren't equal, but I think you can see, how much larger Renee's head and face looked before the 80 pounds.
In
So
this area right here, I had a double chin. I don't know if you all can see it from your view in the smaller view, but in this other one, you see down below, you'll see that little red mark. I don't know if you can show that with it, but there's a
yeah,
scar here. I recently had to have a neck fusion. I had a disc slip in my neck and it almost severed my spine. And because of being on keto and eating so incredibly keto healthy, and not having all the sugars and the carbs and the losing of the weight, my neurosurgeon has just been blown away because I'm supposedly not supposed to have full flexia. I'm looking up and I can after this surgery. I'm not supposed to be able to look all the way over my shoulder. So I've surpassed every single recovery marker for 90%, literally 90% of people who get neck fusion. I'm fused from C4 to C7. So I'm not supposed to be able to do that, and I can. But he also has been following my journey, and every time he sees my weight, he goes, "Oh my God." But I have to admit, here recently, I kind of got myself off track again, and I went on literally a 10-day binge. It was like, I just want some of my favorite foods, doggone it. It started off pretty simple, innocuous, one little tiny thing here and a little thing over here. And next thing I know, I went out one day and I should have just gotten a small chocolate chip shake from Brahms. But no, I had to get the large like I normally get. Worst decision, I'm telling you. My body now is so used to not having that sugar load, which really is better for me. It just made me sick to my stomach.
yeah,
I felt awful for days.
yeah.
And the other drawback, and I hate to admit it, the pipes got stopped up again. I was like, going, oh no, I don't want to repeat this.
Yeah, not good, not good.
Yeah. So, I will say, having a cheat day, as we call it, once in a while, even I think Dr. Boz says is an okay thing, but you can't go cheat day here and then do it for 10 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a cheat day would be like one meal of that one day and then don't do it again for a whole month. My screen is now frozen.
Yeah, I know. Your screen's frozen. I don't know why.
Oh,
There you go.
Okay. I'm back. But anyway, so now I am back on track, but I will say I wanted to let y'all know the drawback to that was that it was a 7 to 10 pound weight gain in those 10 days. So, once you start on this, it's not that you can't ever have a cheat day, but don't go on a binge. You just don't go on a binge. I mean, I can't emphasize that more. I am now back on track.
Hey, Renee, what do you think started your binge? What started it?
Honestly, it was seeing all the commercials. I love pizza. Absolutely love pizza.
I'm with you.
Ice cream. And I was seeing all these commercials for pizza. I'm like, oh, okay, I can't have a pizza because that's super carb. And then I saw a commercial for Brahms, which is one of our local ice cream stores.
Mhm.
I thought, oh, a chocolate chip shake. That sounds really good. That would be better than having a banana split.
I don't know. I think they're both bad, Renee.
So they both are bad. But, again, it wouldn't have been quite as bad had I just gone in for a small chocolate chip shake just to get rid of that craving and move on. But I literally got a large and it was so dumb. So dumb. But then I just, I was running crazy, running all kinds of errands and doing things. And so even though you can eat out to restaurants and eat, keto friendly, I just was choosing not to.
Yeah.
Just out. It was just a choice.
Yeah, for me, when I go off of keto, it's usually I'm very tired, I'm very rushed, I have a million things to do, or
Yep.
my emotions I'm upset about something.
Yeah.
But I don't typically do a 10-day binge. So I would hate to think where I'd be if
Well,
I did.
mine really was more of I was just out and about a lot, and by the time I got home, I just didn't want to cook.
Yeah.
So it was a matter of yes, I'm super busy, but it was being lazy.
Oh,
So bottom line for me was just flat out laziness.
we've all been lazy.
So, and then the nice thing is I find that now I'm back on track. Not only am I sleeping better, but I am no longer pre-diabetic. Woohoo! My blood pressure is amazing. In fact, it's lower that my diastolic bottom number is lower than it's ever been in my entire lifetime. The systolic every once in a while still gets a little bit higher whenever I go in the doctor's office, but I also have what's called white coat syndrome. And those of you who are not familiar with that term, it basically you go and you see your doctor, your blood pressure goes up because you're seeing your doctor, and that I'm nervous. So they've learned to take my blood pressure, and then we chit chat for a while, and they take it again, and it's right backwards to normal. So, but I did a craft fair just recently, and a person that I hadn't seen in like 2 years, we were talking, and they kept kind of looking at me, and they said, "Wow, you look great. Have you lost weight?" And I said, "Oh gosh, thank you for asking." I said, "Yeah." And I told them my story and how I'd lost 80 pounds, and they were super impressed because, I had gotten quite huge. I have a grandson, an 8-year-old grandson, and prior to losing this weight, I would not have been able to play with him on the floor because I wouldn't have been able to get back up off the floor. And I was in a real bad car wreck back in 2018. And I've still got some health issues from that, but a lot of those issues are less predominantly telling me that they're there because of the weight loss and because of getting the inflammation. That's one thing that a lot of people don't really talk about is sugar causes systemic head to toe inflammation, as do the sugar. And you talk about a loss of inflammation, ankles no longer swell, unless I cheat. I've done something wrong because my ankles will swell. So my first goal, I wanted to break 300 pounds. And when I did that, then the next goal was 290, 280, 270. So, and I got down to 270 and I was trying to get down there and I was stuck at 270 forever. And I think that was part of my reason for my binge as well, as I was frustrated because I'm like, well, okay, I've been here forever. And unfortunately, it's the thing that would probably help me would be exercise, but I still have to go through one more surgery before I can exercise. So I'm somewhat stuck. I can do some exercise, but not the ones that's going to raise my heart rate a lot. So my next goal is now 250 pounds. And then it will be 225, 200, 175, and really my bottom goal is 150. I can't really stress enough the importance of making a goal sheet for yourself and give yourself little happy check marks or a happy face or write yourself a positive note every time you get close to a goal or you surpass that goal because you've worked hard. We don't talk nice to ourselves very much anymore. And so it's really important that we carry that out. Fast forward now, also, I can get up off the floor. I had a lady the other day that just really blessed me so much. She says, I haven't seen you in like 6 months or no, she said, I haven't seen you in about a year. And she goes, your joy and happiness level is off the charts. She said, you just shine. So I, again, without all the sugar and carbs, I have found that my mood is so much better. I actually used to be on, and I apologize, I've got a little kitty cat and she apparently got some hair on my nose. I am somewhat prone to depressive moods. In 2013, both of my parents passed away. And so I struggled for a long time trying to get over that, and it was a very low dose of a depression medication. But because of being on the keto diet, not only am I handling the emotions of that better, I can even think about them now and talk about them and say stuff, and I don't break into tears near as much. The nice thing is I am off of my depression medication 100%. Now,
Good.
I want to stress the fact I didn't just go off my medication nilly-willy. Talked it over with my doctor first, make sure that she knew I was going off of it and she was cool with it, and that I eased my way off of it. I didn't just go boing off in left field. We recently did another full blood panel, and she was like going, "Oh my God, Renee, your numbers are amazing." Like I said, all my numbers improved. Numbers that weren't really even bad before improved. We found out we had to lower my thyroid dose medication. I have hypothyroidism. We had to lower the dosage because it was too high. I was no longer.
That's great. Yeah.
I stopped losing hair, and my skin glows now. I mean, the list just goes on and on. And so I really encourage you, if you've not gotten on the keto train, this is probably the best things I could ever encourage you to do, is to get on this. And the keto diet and what Elizabeth has got set up with her Keto Confab, I'm saying it right. Man, that's a great thing. It's a good support system because you've got someone who's going to be open and honest with their journey. It's not someone that sits out there like a paid actor that says, "Oh yes, and you go on this diet and you're going to be great forever." And we're real people with real lives, and we have real backtracks.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do with Keto Confab, is to make it a community of people, real people, trying to better their lives and their health. And so, Renee, as we finish up today, I just wanted to ask, one of the things Dr. Boz stresses is that we need to know why we're going to keto and why we're doing keto. So what would you say your why is?
It's actually on a multiple level. Number one, I do have being overweight. I want to make sure that I live a full and long enough life that I can spend it with my grandson or any other grandchildren I have. Right now, I've only got the one grandson, but who knows? I mean, there might be more in the future. I've got two boys. So the other thing, though, is that I want to feel better. There's a phrase that I use in my office. I've actually got a little postcard with it now that says, "Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired?"
Yeah.
By golly, I'm tired of being sick and tired. And the only way to do that is to get myself in a healthier place. And everything else really that I was doing was not doing that for me. And that's one of the reasons that I went into Chinese medicine, was to find what works.
Well, that's great, Renee. And I really appreciate you taking the time today to come and
Thanks
talk
for
to us.
inviting me.
Yeah. And so I'm going to go back to the screen share if I figure out how to do it. And I want to invite everybody to go to Renee's Facebook page, and you can find the link to her website there. It's right there. It's barefootwisewoman@gmail. No, that's her email. And check out her services, especially if you're in the Oklahoma City area. And also,
and by the way, Becky, I know I'm interrupting, but if they are not in Oklahoma and they need a referral to an acupuncturist, I've got connections all over the world.
Oh, well, that's fabulous.
Help
Great
refer
to
people
know.
out.
That's great. And also remember to go and check out Keto Confab. Check out Keto Confab and all the posts I put there at bozmd.com. And I'll see you at the next Keto Confab meeting. We meet every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. The link is on the Keto Confab page. And would love to see you there. But anyway, so Renee, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. Appreciate
Absolutely.
you. Namaste. And we'll see you around. Thank you.
Bye.